Welcome back everyone to our notoriously amazing series where we cover the last 5 years of first round picks for every NFL franchise. Today we'll bring you guys the Houston Texans, and they've had a pretty decent-ish record, but they have been drafting pretty high up, so you got to remember that. I don't know whether we get legal repercussions about talking about a potential criminal sexual assault merchant in Deshaun Watson, but I don't think we do. So we can't say he is a sexual assaultist because the lawsuits are still happening. Yeah. So we'll leave it at that.
So it's
Alleged.
Either one. Cool. We have Ttitus Howard drafted out of Alabama State. He started all 22 games he has played so far in the league. He is tied first for most penalties in 2020 with 11, but he did allow 2 sacks, so it's not that bad. He played in 99% of the snaps. He's been very consistent since he's been playing. He wasn't all rookie in his first season, despite only playing 8 games due to injury. Bearing in mind this was 2019, so he's now in his second year. He has a long way to go though if he has become a player who he shares the O-line with, and that is Laramie Tunsil. But he has proven in the NFL that he has the potential and the capability to reach said ceilings if he just irons out a few creases he has in his game.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Yeah, he has a very good ability to block edge rushers when it comes to protecting Deshaun Watson, but he can't be overlooked, however, that he is a member of a very, very poor O-line that Deshaun Watson has been the victim of one too many times this season.
Yeah, I think he's definitely a good right tackle.
He is. It's unfortunate that he's part of a very poor O-line.
It's good that he is at right tackle, because if he was in the Tunsil position, he would be getting slaughtered, especially with his penalty issue. But no, he's decent at right tackle. Mm-hmm. It's a decent pick.
And you've got the Holy Grail,
Deshaun Watson. So I'll just look at the player for now. Deshaun Watson, a true great player. It's an amazing pick. They traded up to get him, and thank God they did. They needed a quarterback for years, and they got one. He was the passing yard leader last year, ridiculous amount of passing yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and we all know he's a good rusher too. He's a do-it-all guy, and the herd will say he doesn't have a pretty football, but it doesn't matter. I don't care if your football isn't pretty when you throw it. He does it all. He can run, he can pass, he's got an arm. And I can't say he can do it all off the field. He might not be good with the ladies, as we're finding out. Might be asking the old massage therapist to massage his sausage, but you have to look past that, okay? He's a great quarterback, and this could just be Houston trying to sabotage his trade or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, A+. He's a generational talent.
Yeah,
and he's only going to get better.
Exactly, I mean...
unless he's in jail.
Since he's been in the NFL, he's thrown for 68% completion percentage for 1,539 yards. He's 104 TDs, 36 picks. He's coming off his best season statistically, despite a very, very poor record in 4-12. He completed 70.2% of his passes for just over 4,800 yards, 33 TDs, and a career low 7 picks. There is a talk that he's a top 5 quarterback, but because there are so many good quarterbacks in the league at the moment, like at the top of their game, it's probably difficult to put him in that conversation. But if you look at our trade video or whatever,
he's top 5 in my book.
Yeah, there's a few ahead of him. It just depends who you put. But if you look at our trade video, we said that you're going to need 3 to 4 first round picks for this guy. He is that good.
Yep.
There is no secret that he wants to trade. He is very athletic. He runs when under pressure. He's not afraid to run out the pocket and do it himself. Like you said, he's a do-all guy. He's the only thing I can say at the moment that is holding this Texans franchise together, and he doesn't even want to be a part of it. If he goes, despite how stable Tyrod Taylor is as an NFL quarterback, the O-line, the weapons, the running back, although they have signed Philip Lindsay, but the running back, the defence, we could be looking at an 0-16 team here if he's gone. He's been sacked 174 times in 4 seasons as well, and he's not happy about that, and I wouldn't be either. 174 times in 4 seasons he's been sacked. He got sacked 60-something times in 2018 or something like that.
Jesus
a career high. It's ridiculous.
Anyway.
It's your Will Fuller.
Right. So,
oh no, it's me, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot, I'm an idiot. Sorry, Will Fuller was drafted out of the Fighting Irish yet again. Don't like him, but we move. He literally just joined the Dolphins in free agency a couple of days ago. But for the Texans, he's coming off 53 games with 3,100 receiving yards and 24 touchdowns, which isn't that bad. He is coming off his best season statistically as well, despite the 4-12 record with 8 TDs, just under 71% catching. He's incredibly athletic. He ran a 4.28 at his combine when he was in the drafting process. People have been saying, however, they have been waiting to see his breakthrough because, like a few people have spoken about in previous videos, he has flashes of brilliance, but doesn't maintain it. He's not really consistent enough, so it's very frustrating for especially the Texans fans who have seen him that he has all this ability, he just can't find it week in, week out. But he has had injury concerns as well in the past. We can't overlook that. And it would have just cost the Texans $15 million to franchise tag him. And although he is their best weapon, considering the cap situation is lower than before and what I've said about the ifs, buts and maybes about him, it's probably the best that he didn't take him.
Yeah. I think he proved that he can be a wide receiver number 1.
He can.
I mean, nearly 1,000 receiving yards. Considering he was banned for 5 games as well. For taking steroids or something with Kenny Stills. It was all weird. I don't understand it at all. But no, he's a good wide receiver. But just kind of a victim of the Texans system sometimes. And he has been playing in Hopkins' shadow for a few years. And then he had wide receiver 1 status this season. And he didn't do that bad. No. So he'd be a great weapon for Miami. I mean, that's a good wide receiving unit now. Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, Kazicki, that's decent. It's a shame that he's got a little midget thrown at him that can't run or can't throw. But we'll look past that.
Yeah.
Next pick.
And it is yours.
Kevin Johnson. He was on the Bills for a little bit, I think.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah, I mean, taken before Marcus Peters, we'll say that first off. That's bad. Imagine if they had him, it'd be so different. But yeah, he's now not really a consistent starter. Only 6 years in your career, you should develop by then as a corner. It might take a while, but he's not developed yet. He only has 6 starts, and he's allowing a ridiculous amount of receptions. When you look at his targets, that is piss poor. And then his PFF rating is bad. He's bouncing around the league. It's a C. I mean, people weren't high on him coming into the draft, and we give him a C because he's still in the league. He's still playing, but he's just not that good. You know?
Yeah, I've just my notes here. So he spent 4 years in Houston before joining Buffalo. He played, but for Houston, he spent 4 years, 35 games, 18 starts. He only got 1 pick in that time. Of 128 combined tackles, so it's not the best, but it's not the worst, especially the picks that could be improved on. But he has had injury concerns, like many other people we've spoken about. He has had his injury problems. He's only had 1 full season for the Texans. Now it's his rookie year, playing 6 the second season, 12 the third season, and 1 in his final season. He did show flashes of brilliance, but he struggled to stay on the field, and when he was in the field, he wasn't consistent. When he joined Buffalo, the injuries weren't an issue. He played a full season even, but his numbers weren't impressive.
He didn't start, I don't think.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly a starter, so his first round value for a guy that doesn't even start despite playing a full season when being healthy, it doesn't look good. But yeah, C's fair.
Jadeveon Clowney.
I'll do. You did Kevin Johnson. Okay. Davion Clowney, defensive end drafted out of South Carolina, the #1 overall pick in 2014. Very slightly unusual. You see a defensive end taken first, but they needed him, and boy, he's done all right. To be fair, he spent 5 years in Houston. He's started 55 of 62 games. In that time, he got 4 forced fumbles, 29 sacks, and 205 tackles. He did put up in impressive numbers, but he was involved in a controversial trade story. The Texans didn't want to pay his wage demands, so they tried to trade him in a deal that brought Tunsil to the Texans, but he didn't want to join the Dolphins. He had no interest in playing for them because he didn't see them as...
right?
Yeah, he didn't see him as a viable team. He said, I think his exact words were, "I don't want to join a team where they're literally just going to play for a quarterback next season, as in plummet, so they can get their franchise guy." He had no interest in doing that. So they decided to franchise tag him, and then he joined a team that he felt he could win, and which was Seattle. Since then, he's jumped to the Titans. Didn't have a good season. He's now a free agent, so he definitely has first round leverage. It's just who wants to take a punt on him, considering he hasn't had the best of times since he's left Houston. He didn't really want to leave, but they forced him out the door because they wanted Tunsil that bad. He has explosive movement off the edge, incredible strength to beat pass blockers. He just needs to settle down in a franchise that believes in him.
You know, I've got kind of a different opinion. I'm definitely more against Jadeveon Clowney than you. I think this guy was hyped so much. His tape was amazing. He was supposed to be a generational pass rusher. And he had no right to warrant his ridiculous wage demands that he wanted to at Houston. He forced himself out with that. And then he got that 1 year with Seattle where they were paying him a ridiculous amount. And he was decent, but only got 3 sacks. And then with Tennessee, he's getting paid a bomb again. And he's just... people still holding on to when he was that generational talent. When you look at his stats, like apart from the 9 sack season, he's pretty average. I mean, he does cause disruption. He did when he played the 8 games for Tennessee, but they paid so much just for them 8 games. I think he's just overpriced. The way he demands so much money, and he's got nothing really to show for it. Yeah, I'm a bit of a Jadeveon Clowney hater, to be honest.
Yeah, well, either way, that's the end of the five years worth of first round picks.
Yeah,
it's interesting with Davion Clowney because it said on the screen he was a 3-time Pro Bowler. So he did do some things right. He was good. I think he is a first round pick. Maybe not today. Maybe like a second round, late to mid second round pick as it stands at the moment. But when he left Houston, he was a first round pick. It's just, are you the #1 overall? No. I'll happily say he definitely hasn't held his value as the #1, like the biggest guy in the draft.
Yeah.
But he's not bad. He's just he got too ahead of himself and it backfired on his career. And until someone believes in him and gives him a long-term deal, it's going to stay the same for him, I'm afraid.
So we'll be doing the AFC West
yeah.
next. Catch you guys next time.
That's the last one before the NFC